Hoo, hoo, hoo. I'm a hillbilly. All right, guys, here we are. Welcome to Just Carve Rob. We're back. And we are working on this hillbilly. We're doing some shaping on him. Getting a mustache cut in on him. Yep. Cut that mustachio in. It's actually not that bad outside today. It's like 45 or something. It's a lot warmer than it's been. Cut that mustache in. We're using that SCM high-speed air tool with a little flame burr on it. Roughing that mustache in. Yep. This is video number 4 in our hillbilly video series. Hope it hasn't bored you guys too much. I've had a hoot carving this guy. Some of you guys said, hey, why didn't you draw? You drew your face in. Why didn't you draw the side in? Okay, well, this isn't my first hillbilly, so it's kind of like, after you make 5 or 6 of them, 8, 10 maybe, you really don't need to draw everything in, but I forget, okay? I'm sorry. If you go back to video number 3, you'll see that I did draw the arms in on them, okay? What I usually do before I even start carving these guys is I'll sit down with my sketch pad, and believe me, I am no artist, but I do a rough sketch, and I mean it's rough. A rough sketch of what I want, okay, of what I want them to look like, and I get that in my head. And then you just have to be able to translate that from your brain to your hands. When I first started carving these guys, I would cut them out on the bandsaw. I'd draw them, and then glue them onto my wood, then go out to the bandsaw and rough cut them out, okay? I know a lot of guys don't have a bandsaw, so I figured that we would do this one with just our dremel and maybe a couple knives, okay? Well, we really haven't used the knife that much. Otherwise, these videos would be super long. If you guys want to see me carve something with a knife, let me know. I was just kind of figuring that everybody is more into the power carving, so that's what I've been doing, is more and more power carving with the Dremel and air tools and stuff like that. But if you want to see knife carving, that's what I started out doing. I love doing it. For me, carving with a knife is so relaxing. It takes my brain to a different place, okay, where it needs to go on vacation. It really does. It needs to go someplace else with all the stress and worries of the world today. So, yeah, leave me a comment if you want to see a knife carving, because this wood isn't quite right for just using a knife because it is pine. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can carve pine with a knife. I have done it. Been out in the woods and carved little wood spirit faces on pine branches and stuff like that. Yeah, so if you want to see me do some knife carving, just knives, leave a comment. I'll do it. But like I said, it seems like everybody that I've been talking to, they're all into the power carving. So that's what I've been doing. That's why I've been looking at investing, into a micro motor carver thing. So yeah, that's the whole thing right there, guys. So I just kind of sketch where, like this guy here. I kind of drew his hat, and then I drew his face, and then I just kind of rounded them all over, right? Just kind of rounded them all over. Took all the sharp edges, all the corners off, and then drew the arms in where I wanted them. Okay? So, I mean, that's basically how I do it. But when I first started carving these hillbillies with power, I did draw out everything. And I still have patterns, so I can lay them out on my block of basswood to speed up the process, take them out to the bandsaw, zip a lot of the overburden or waste wood, should we say, the wood that you're not going to use, off with the bandsaw, and then come in and you've got a rough placement of where everything is: the face, the chin, the beard, hands, boots, all that stuff. You get a rough placement of that, and then you start carving it. But yeah, this guy, I just figured, well, we'll just take it from a solid block of wood, because a lot of people don't have bandsaws, And we're working this hat around. Up there in the front of the hat, you got to be careful, because remember, you undercut that hat for that nose. So you don't want to get going too deep on it in the front where it flops down, because you could cut right through it. And as I'm carving this, I can hear the tone of the wood with the cutter bouncing off of it. I can hear the front on the left-hand side is starting to get pretty thin. So I probably won't touch that much more, because I don't want to pop through it. And now we're thinning that hat back. See, I told you we'd be visiting that hat a lot. Thinning the hat down, getting up underneath the hat there, getting the sides of the face shaped in, which really isn't no face, it's just all beard, right? Getting his shoulders cut down. We'll be changing over, not in this video, but in the next video, we are probably going to be changing over to one of the larger flame burr diamonds. It's a little coarser. We'll skit this guy. We'll get all these heavy cut lines smoothed out of them, and then we'll move down to the legs and that kind of stuff. So, yep. You can see we got one hand in the pocket already. I had half thought about having one hand in the pocket and having the other hand holding the fishing pole or something. But I think just for this demonstration, we are going to just do both hands in pockets. So, yeah, I use, even with these really coarse bits, you can see I'm using a real light touch, because I don't want to accidentally dig in too far and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could use a finer grit, finer tooth cutter, but I don't know. I like the way this one works. And we are using a Dremel 4000 on a flex shaft, the 4000. And that is, we are using a saber tooth burr extra coarse. Which I believe I've got a couple cut saw bits, so we might start using those more. The only thing the big difference for me between the cut saw and the saber tooth is the saber tooth is longer and has a sharper point at the end. Comes down to a finer point at the end. And when you're doing little things like this guy's like 4 inches tall. Sometimes the flame burr for the cut saw is fatter. But then again, I could always switch to the cut saw taper burr, which is an awesome burr. Right? And it has that fine point on the end of it. The main reason I use the saber tooth burrs is because I have them. And like I said in other videos, I don't stop using a burr until it's just a round piece of metal. I wear the teeth right off of them, and I have not done that with the saber tooths yet. Don't get me wrong, they're not as sharp as they used to be because I've had them, I've used them. But yeah, I really haven't used the cut saws that much, so I really can't give an honest comparison of them until I start using that cut saws more. So that's coming up here in the future. We'll be using the cut saw bits that I do have a little bit more. Probably a lot more. You know, if all you ever have is vanilla ice cream, you'll never know what the other flavors taste like. So we'll try the cut saw flavor compared to the saber tooth flavor. I know a lot of guys, a lot of carvers love the cut saw bits. See, we're getting that other hand shaped into the pocket there. Getting it put into his pocket. We've already turned his arm inboard and towards his tummy. So, yep. Basically, it's just taking it nice and easy and rounding, bringing that hand down. Now, you want to leave a little bit of a lump there so it looks like his hand is in his pocket. Just like the other arm. And when we cut that, see, we're going back and recutting the arm. You want to angle that side into. You want to point it towards the tummy. When we first cut it, we had it kind of straight, right? Kind of straight. But now as we're angling, we angled the arm in. We want to angle the arm in from the outside. We want to angle it in from the inside too. And that's what we are doing here. Now we're rounding the arm over. I think our little hillbilly guy is starting to come along here. Yep. It's coming along pretty good, I believe. This video has been sped up 2 times speed. It was over 35 minutes, so I gave it the double speed job to bring that time down. Like I said, I want to try keeping my videos at around that 15-minute mark, because I find that once they get longer than that, people just stop watching them. So no sense in making a video an hour long if they only get 5 minutes watch time. And that way if they're only 15 minutes, you can watch them on your lunch break, or if you need something to put you to sleep at night before you go to bed, you can watch it. Yeah. So yeah, we're shaping them up here, guys, and you can see it's not all that difficult. You know, you just gotta take that initiative and go for it. You can pause this video any place you want if you're trying to follow along. Just pause the video, and hopefully the shapes will give you an idea where to put everything. Other than that, there's an awesome book called Whittling Country Folk. It's by Mike Shipley. He has 12 caricatures in there of different types of hillbillies, country folk, and a dog, and outhouse, and a grandma. You know, so if if you like the pictures like I do, it also comes with patterns for the hillbillies. You know, get that book, Whittling Country. Here's the book I'm talking about, guys. Mike Shipley, Whittling Country Folk. Check it out. You got different hillbillies you can carve. It's got the patterns and the paint and all that stuff in it. It's a good book. If you really want to whittle some hillbillies, check it out. Go online. Type in Whittling Country Folk. Book is by Mike Shipley. And check it out. Okay? So that's the end of this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Be awesome. Carve something awesome. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Share, subscribe, and like. Bye.